Guys, Resistance is back in 1 week.
How you get so big to do food of this kind?
Yeah, so, as I was saying, Resistance returns in just 1 week. We will be hitting Season 2, and I could not be more jazzed. I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for you all to see the show. So I figured I would come here today with just a week to go, and since we have 7 days, talk about the 7 things I'm looking forward to the most in the season, or the things I'm hoping we see the most in the season. So these are my kind of 7 hopes and expectations for what we're going to experience together. First, and most importantly, I have to say it is the biggest dangling plotline that has not been addressed by the end of the first season. It was something that I was so emotional about, so emotionally compromised about, something I needed. The idea of this one lone individual completely isolated from everything that ever mattered to them in life, and to see all of that taken away from them. There's really one character that is on the forefront of my mind, and that is, of course, JusticeForOpeepit. This poor little yellow fluff ball, just where is his floor scrubber? What is going to happen to him? Everything from him was taken, and as we get to the end of the first season of Resistance, none of that is resolved, and if Season 2's core theme isn't JusticeForOpeepit, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and say some very stern but polite words to someone somewhere, I'm sure. The second thing I hope to see is from another very isolated character. I'm hoping for what a lot of us are hoping for, which is, of course, the story of Tam-demption. Now, Tam-demption is a play on Ben-demption. It's the idea of redeeming Tam from her life with the First Order. I use Tam-demption as a phrase just because it's an easy way to convey a concept. I don't think that Tam is actually in need of redemption when she joins the First Order. It's largely because she is manipulated, tricked by the First Order itself, and because her friends have lied to her and she feels betrayed. I don't think that she's really done anything explicitly wrong at the end of the first season. I really truly believe that the First Order hid the Hosnian cataclysm from her. She doesn't have an idea really of what the First Order is doing. So I don't know that she needs redemption. But I do hope to see her return to the Colossus, return to Team Fireball, really, if anything, redemption for her friends, to have them get the chance to ask for forgiveness and have that time for them to mend, and really just for her own safety, to get her out of the First Order that would only be using her. That was such a beautiful plot line in the first season, and I'm really looking forward to it, hoping that it pays off throughout the course of this season. And that, of course, brings in so many cool bad guys, and everything about the character of Agent Tierney is phenomenal, and excited to see more interactions between the two of them as well. Speaking of baddies looking for redemption, I am also excited for my boy, Kylo Ren. I lost my mind when we saw him in the trailer. I don't know that I was necessarily surprised. There were rumors of him showing up in the first season. If you followed the different pedias, Wikipedia never listed Kylo as being in the first season, which is why I didn't think it was going to happen, but Wikipedia did list Kylo Ren as a character, so I kind of wondered what was going on there. It was probably some kind of leaked information that ended up being slightly incorrect about what season was going on, but none of that really matters. Of course, Wikipedia also said that it was Adam Driver, and we know that the voice of Kylo in the trailer is Matt Wood. They could have also just been throwing darts at a board and hitting them. I'm excited to see Kylo in the show. My enthusiasm was, I was hoping we'd see something that was kind of promised, even if it wasn't from a true source, and then to get to see him on the show. And I'm excited because as the show crosses the TLJ point in the timeline, the Last Jedi point in the timeline, that means it's not only Kylo Ren, but it's Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and just to experience the character in that point for him is something I'm really pumped for. Now, Kylo isn't the only Force-related thing on the show that I'm excited to learn more about. Throughout much of the trailer, we see more of Kel and Elia. I believe I'm saying their names correctly. They are the children from Tehar that we see in the first season. The younger one seems to have some kind of premonition abilities. She can sense the sea monster coming in the Bebo episode, for one. There's a lot of strange things going on with these kids. They also have some intense ties to the First Order. We see their symbol on the little piece of wood that Captain Doza gets. It's the same symbol we see on the temple-like structure on the moon that Poe and Kaz visit in the Core Problem episode. There's not really a whole lot of confirmation as to whether those could or couldn't be the same thing. I believe Tehar is thought of as being a planet, and what Kaz and Poe visit is thought of as being a moon, so it may not be the same place, but I also don't know that that's been, at least on Wikipedia right now, they're listed as different places. But that only makes it more interesting because then you have the same symbol showing up in two different systems on two different worlds. I just think there's going to be a lot going on with that, especially with other stuff we see in the trailer. The sort of yin-yang symbol with the fish that we see in the one temple, and how that could be related to everything else going on. Resistance has kind of been the first of the animated series to not delve heavily into the Force. As a Force fan myself, I'm excited to see what happens with the Children of Tehar, but also to see some elements of the Force within the show, but also to see elements in the Force that are not necessarily from a Jedi or a Sith. I would assume it's something closer to what we see of the Guardians of the Whills from Rogue One, a Chirrut and Baze kind of thing. The next thing I'm really excited about, we have no real confirmation as to whether or not it could happen. This is just more me really kind of hoping. We have seen Poe. We are getting Kylo Ren. Of course, Leia has made appearances on the show as well. I would love to see more main characters from the Star Wars universe make it into the show. I love that Resistance is about not the main characters and that we're seeing this more micro-scale part of the galaxy, but it's so rewarding when you get to see these small characters that you come to love, get the validation of being put on the same platform as the major characters. That's one of the fun things for me as a fan. So since we've gotten Poe, I would love to see the other kind of new characters in the sequel trilogy. You know, if Kaz and Yeager and Sonara and Tora and Niku and any of them, like, cross paths with Rey or Rose or Finn, I think I might just curl up in a ball and weep. I would be like that gif from Blackish, just like weeping on the couch. That would pretty much be me. So I don't know if that's gonna happen. Of course, from The Last Jedi, we know that no one is able to help the Resistance on the planet of Crate, and I would hate to think that that the Colossus told them no, though it's possible that they simply couldn't say yes. You know, it's a different thing to turn down helping to not being able to help. But if we see anything post Last Jedi, it would be great to see our characters get to meet up with these characters out somewhere. Speaking of characters interacting, my next thing that I would be really excited to see is basically just the interactions on the Colossus. I happen to know, because I've seen the first episode of Season 2, that this is going to happen a little bit, and you see it in the trailer as well, so I'm not really spoiling anything. But at the end of the first season, when the Colossus flies away, the pirates are there. Sonara has brought them to help, and the pirates have joined in with the Colossus, but they're not necessarily friends. And I'm really excited to see how the regular denizens on the Colossus mingle with the pirates, how they function under Doza, how they're going to interact with the Aces. You know, you've had these pirates and Aces go at fighting each other so often throughout the first season. History long before that, I'm sure there's probably been some deaths along the way, and to see these characters have to intermingle, you know, to spend more time with the Aces and Spaces, but to see them have to deal with the pirates as well, that is something I'm excited to see. Not just this kind of two-faction good guys versus the bad guys, but to have these pirate wild cards in there, I think is going to be something really, really fun. And the seventh thing I'm excited for is that they're going to be moving around. I love the Colossus. I love hanging out on the Colossus. If you visit our Discord, we greet you with a welcome message that has the Colossus, because that's how much I love the Colossus. I'm so excited that not only do we not leave the Colossus and we get to spend time with, you know, the culture of the Colossus, but we're taking the Colossus to other places, that we're going to see other worlds, that we see a snowy world, and an oceanic world, and the planet with all the cliffs, and a planet that could be Batu, maybe? Resistance did something that Rebels also did really well, where you spend a long time in one place, and you get to know that place really well. but I'm excited now that this show is going to uproot and see more of the galaxy, now that we have that sense of home established. But those are my 7 things for the next 7 days. I am so excited to see where the season goes. Tell me, what are you guys most excited for? What are your 7 things? What can you not wait to see before we get to this series? Please leave a comment letting me know. Follow us on all the socials. We're always happy to talk to you guys. And until next time, keep it real and fly casual.
Cooking can be fun.